The impacts of the COVID-19 forced lockdown on the introduction and the expansion of the online teaching and learning. The COVID-19 forced lockdown has brought frustration in people's lives and caused changes to most of their normal daily activities. Many sectors were forced to observe other possible ways to continue their activities amidst the COVID-19 pandemic and the lockdown. The schooling system as one of these sectors had to change from its age-old tradition of teaching in the classroom to online learning. This has been seen as the one positive effect of the COVID-19 lockdown, as the online learning seems to be appreciated by many and it yields much more positive results in education. The pandemic and the lockdown came in when no one was expecting and prepared for it, but the universities in South Africa and across the world took a surprising shift from the traditional teaching and learning method to the online teaching. This was at the aim to save the academic year, which was
LED wall is on. We are ready.
Let's get started. How is everyone today? It is so wonderful to see you all. I assume you've all read the case. Let's start with the key decision facing this protagonist. Okay, Mai in Shanghai, you're the decision maker. What's your plan?
When I look at this launch, what I see is faulty decision making every step of the way.
Okay, now this is getting interesting.
We spent close to 800,000, which is plenty.
10.
Take 10.
Rob in Buenos Aires, what are they doing wrong?
You got the value proposition all wrong. Just because he works in one geography doesn't mean he's going to work in another.
3, 4, take 4.
Color 4.
All right, so here's what we want to do. Let's take a poll. Everybody open up their polling tool. First option is to stay the course. Second option is to pull and relaunch. And the third option is somewhat in between. All right, so most of you, despite the problems, think this company should stay the course. Afafa, I take it you disagree?
Well, yes, I do disagree.
Color 25.
So Sally, why does that worry you?
What it tells me is that the business lacks discipline.
And every time they encounter a problem, they try to spend their way out of it.
Jeffrey in London, what about you? What's your plan?
I'd start with the product mix.
I'd pull the marketing, make the necessary adjustments, and then relaunch.
A great session. See you all next week.
But not all the universities in South Africa managed to transition smoothly and in time because of the lack of finances.
With valuable learning time being lost, institutions of higher learning are compelled to opt for online teaching to ensure social distancing. While the Tshwane University of Technology is currently conducting a survey to determine the readiness of its students, the University of Pretoria has procured electronic e-learning devices.
Later, after the online learning had been seen as a success in the universities, some private schools also followed. Very few schools were able to go online because of finances, as most schools were funded by the government and most learners come from the unstable financial backgrounds, unlike in the universities where students receive funding from government. Students from both the universities and high schools that went online are appreciating online learning as it encourages learner-centered teaching methods, which enables them to be critical thinkers and problem solvers. Some also say that online learning consumes little of their time and gives them space to do more things during the day. But some also say that on the online learning they are given too much tasks to submit and complete in the shorter period, which causes stress and pressure to them. Others argue that the online teaching and learning does not support all the aspects in education because it does not cater fully for the subjects where learners need to be performing experiments and practical work in the lab with the guidance from the lab technicians. It can also be argued that although online teaching and learning is the future of education, but the developing countries are still not fully prepared for it in the lower schooling levels, and it widens the gap of the educational inequalities in such countries, as there is still a large amount of people who cannot afford online teaching and learning.